Did you know that in High on Life, in between missions, you can sit and watch an entire movie in-game? For example, this film, called Tammy and the T-Rex, stars Paul Walker and Denise Richards. I know I'm a little late to the party on this one, but it is really cool. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Video Game Easter Eggs, the series where we cover some of the best Easter eggs found in video games. As always, if you think you know of a video game Easter egg that I'm yet to cover, then let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to check it out. Oh, and a big thank you to my patrons and YouTube members for their awesome support. And make sure to stick around until the end of the video for some sentimental ramblings from yours truly. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with Halo Reach. Now, I've said before that when it comes to Easter eggs, the Halo series has some of the best around, though for some reason, I've barely covered the games in this series. Well, that's going to change today. Around halfway through the New Alexandria level, your objective marker points you in the direction of this building. But if you head back to the hospital that you visited earlier in the level, you can find a button that apparently opens a door. But what that door isn't immediately clear. Well, if we continue with the mission, this will happen. So pushing the button will cause all of the enemies at this location to put down their weapons and have a party instead. Now, if you want an invitation to this party, it's pretty easy to get one. All you have to do is click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you there. Up next is ghost hunting horror game Phantom Hysteria. Now, we have covered Phantom Hysteria in this series before, where we found ourselves stuck in the back rooms. Well, the first of today's Phantom Hysteria Easter eggs is even creepier. If you head to the cremation room and interact with the urn, this will happen. So almost every texture in the game now shows the faces of the development team, which is pretty disturbing. The other Phantom Hysteria Easter egg also changes how the game looks, but is nowhere near as creepy. That is, unless you're scared of really old games. If you interact with the statue that I do, this will happen. So interacting with the statue will activate a 16-bit mode, which gives the game a funky retro look. Next up is James Bond 007 Everything or Nothing. Now, I've said before that the James Bond games that were released on the PS2 era of consoles are some of my favourite games of all time. Don't get me wrong, I'm under no illusion that nostalgia plays a big part in my love for the series, but whenever I get a chance to feature the games in a video, I'm always happy to do so. Now, the last time we did feature a Bond game was in episode 95, where we discovered sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads. Well, today's 007 Easter egg can be found in the third-person Bond adventure, Everything or Nothing. One of the missions in Everything or Nothing sees Bond chasing down Jaws, who has stolen a tanker. Now, speed is the name of the game here, as you try to close the distance between Bond and the tanker. However, if you stick to the left side of the road, you will eventually find this.
007, Jaws is only 3 miles from the city. Do hurry!
Okay, so I know it's not the most mind-blowing Easter egg you're ever going to see, but it's an Easter egg from a Bond game, so I had to include it. I mean, it could be worse. It could be a red balloon, so count yourselves lucky. Next up is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, in the last episode of my hidden video game detail series, I moaned about the performance of Jedi Survivor. Well, I ended up turning off performance mode and playing the game at 30 frames per second. And whilst it's not the smoothest 30 FPS in the world, it's a lot better than what it was in performance mode. I mean, it is annoying that I've had to record this Easter egg in 30 frames per second to ensure a smooth frame rate, but sacrifices have to be made. Anyway, the Easter egg in Jedi Survivor is actually pretty good. At this location on the map, you can find a seemingly dead end. However, if you look closely, you can see a small opening. Let's head inside to see where it leads.
Interesting.
So after making your way through the passage that seemingly never ends, you come across a group of droids drawing a Mogu. Like I said, the passage to get here takes ages to shimmy through, but I'd say that the reward is worth it. Up next is survival-based first-person shooter Generation Zero. Now, Generation Zero has loads of really cool Easter eggs, with perhaps my favourite being the working Back to the Future DeLorean we discovered all the way back in episode 5. Well, today's Generation Zero Easter egg is a bit harder to explain. At this location on the map, you can find this. So when first entering the cabin, you can find quite a few footballs, which is odd but could be explained. What can't be explained is this room that is full of footballs. I mean, we've seen that during times of panic, people will hoard almost anything. I just didn't think footballs would be so high on that list. I mean, come to think of it, I didn't think toilet roll would be either, and look how that turned out. Right, let's end today's video with Hunt Down the Freeman. Hunt Down the Freeman is a first-person shooter that sees you hunting down Gordon Freeman, the protagonist of Valve's Half-Life series. Now, despite the game sounding like it could be an official spin-off of the Half-Life games, it most definitely isn't. Universally panned on release, it seems that many people only play Hunt Down the Freeman to see how bad it is, or in my case, for a really cool Easter egg. On the Welcome to City 17 level, if you climb the rubble, you can find this. Yep, it's another game that references the online urban legend of the Backrooms. I know some of you are getting sick of this Easter egg, but I still think it's pretty cool. So that's it. That's the 100th episode of the video game Easter egg series. When I started this series back in 2019, I couldn't have imagined it would still be going today. And the only reason it is because of you guys. I know YouTubers say this a lot, but this channel would be nothing without you. For those of you that don't know, I'm 35 years old. I've worked quote-unquote normal jobs, and I think that helps me understand just how lucky I am to be doing what I'm doing. I rarely speak about my personal life for that reason. No matter how bad things may get for me, I know that I'm incredibly privileged to have a healthy family, 2 wonderful kids, a beautiful wife, a great YouTube channel, and a brilliant audience. Of course, that doesn't mean I don't have bad days, we all do, but those things help me battle through and keep going. I spend hours playing some really bad games just to record Easter eggs and details that I think you will enjoy. And when you do enjoy them, it makes it all the worthwhile. So once again, a big thank you. You have no idea how much you've not only changed my life, but also my family's life. After being made redundant over 5 years ago, I was lost and didn't know what I wanted to do. And now look, we've built one of the largest Easter egg communities on YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to stop now as I think that most of you are simply here for the games, but I cannot repeat just how thankful I am for each and every one of you. So thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.